Palantir stock has been the superhero of Wall Street for the last year or two, up more than 250% in 1-2 years, and that's a lot. Okay, so that happened in just a year, but here is an uncomfortable truth about Palantir on the monthly time frame and even in smaller time frames that nobody wants to hear, that if you buy now Palantir, if you just want to buy Palantir stock now, you are not a genius, you are late, very late. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly where the real buy zones are on the monthly and smaller time frames and bigger time frames too, using pure supply and demand imbalances. No news, no fundamentals, so you can take advantage of Palantir moves, and probably I might prevent you from making a huge mistake by buying now, because well, price action and imbalances and patience are the key. So if you love learning how to trade stocks professionally and you want to avoid emotional, suicidal entries, stick with me until the end of the video. So let's start. So this is Palantir monthly time frame. Okay, we can see the logo here. So it means that every candlestick here is made of 1 month of time. Although this red candle is only 18 days long, okay, 18 days out, because today is the 18th of November 2025. So this candle is on the November candle is clearly stronger than the previous candle for October 2025. So we all know that Palantir Technologies is one of the most important data-driven software companies on the planet, and this could, well, make you buy right now, because maybe you are subscribed to many other services and they will tell you, oh wow, now we had positive earnings on Palantir this, Palantir that. Okay, so their platforms are used by governments, militaries, intelligence agencies, and Fortune 500 companies. So this is a big company. So today, almost every sector that needs data aggregation, prediction, and artificial intelligence uses Palantir. Okay, so this is why Palantir is always surrounded by hype. Okay, but hype doesn't pay the bills. Price action does. And monthly price action is telling us one thing that you might not want to see, probably because you are using the smaller time frames. So when we look at the daily time frame, we can see here that we have a very strong rally that ended up printing all-time highs on Palantir, and then now, after a few days, at the beginning of November 2025, it printed a new low, and now it printed a new low again in the middle of November, and it's trying to print another low because the pre-market for Palantir today, which will happen in a couple of hours, it's saying that, well, it's probably going to do this. Okay, so price action together with supply and demand is telling us something very clear. So Palantir exploded. If we zoom out on the daily, it's been like running all the time. You could argue, okay, Palantir made a low here and then continue to rally. So, well, if it drops here, man, it will continue to rally. Yep, that's true. Okay, but if you didn't buy months ago, trying to buy now, I consider it like financial suicide, because when we take a look at the monthly time frame, this is where everything begins, right here. Well, the very first beginning is down there at around $35, and then price pauses a little bit over there, and then from there starts again. Okay, so if you didn't buy months ago, weeks ago, it's not a good idea to chase price after such a strong rally of about well, from the bottom has been like 400%. So when something is being rallying for so long, it's suicidal. I mean, I'm talking about long-term investment. I'm not talking about intraday, short-term scalping and all that. Okay, obviously, if you're doing scalping, you don't even care about the monthly time frame. Okay, you just want to scalp a few dollars. It's okay. You can trade in any direction. You go long, you buy, you sell. It doesn't matter. Okay, the bigger time. I'm just talking about the bigger projection for Palantir. Okay. So your emotions are saying yes, but supply and demand is screaming stop. Okay, because at the end of the day, trading is all about the art of waiting and not chasing the art of chasing. So on the monthly time frame, we already have a candlestick there which is wider than the previous candlestick, and that, if you analyze price action from the bottom, okay, from here, from May 2024, that means more than a year, one and a half years ago for Palantir. Price has been rallying and then printing new highs, then it paused a little bit, a strong rally, it paused a strong rally, and this is the very first time in more than a year, in almost 2 years, that we can see this type of rejection in the monthly. Okay, so this is something important. This is the first time you didn't see, there's no red candle anywhere in years, and this is happening right now for Palantir. Okay, so when we use pure price action, no news, no fundamentals, no earnings, the bigger picture becomes painfully obvious. The monthly time frame has been rallying non-stop. Okay, candlestick bodies are shrinking, price rallies, it shrinks, rallies, and now not only it doesn't shrink, but it goes in the opposite direction. Now it's a bearish candle. Still a few days left for this candle to consolidate and close. Still like a couple of weeks left. So another truth is that Palantir stock price is too expensive, too far from the bigger time frame demand zones, which are much lower. Okay, that makes the Palantir overextending and very, very expensive. So professional money already bought months ago and initiated this process on Palantir. Okay, they probably are taking profits now. Okay, so this is not right now. This is not where you buy. This is where you stay patient and do nothing and move to other stocks, because Palantir is a very well known company. Many governments, militaries, artificial intelligence, everything use Palantir, but that doesn't mean that you have to buy. Okay, the next real imbalance is sitting much lower at $85 per share, and price is currently at 171 in mid-November 2025. So buying right now Palantir it's not a good idea. That distance alone tells us a lot. Okay, enough. When we take a look at the weekly time frame, okay, we're going to see this. Price has been rallying strongly. Okay, this is where everything started. On the weekly could be smaller. The one that I had drawn belongs to the monthly. Price rally, drop on there, and then reacted very strongly. And this is the first time, again, we see a very large bearish candle. Okay, bearish engulfing pattern. The last time it happened down there, and the stock dropped about 46%. And right now, it has dropped about 18-20%. So there's a lot. If this is repeated, okay, great. We have like a projection of about price of Palantir dropping down there. Let's say, like about 40%, like something like here. Okay, but the thing is that when this happened in the past for Palantir, okay, we had a clear imbalance over there sitting around $80 per share. So Palantir rallied and then dropped, and from there it reacted. But we do not have anything here. Okay, there's not a single imbalance here, no demand. There's actually a new supply level created at Palantir at $188 per share. So we cannot use the weekly time frame to make a decision, because it seems that this is going to happen according to price action and supply demand. Here in the past, back in March 2025, like 6 months ago, half a year, Palantir dropped, retraced that weekly demand level, okay, and then rallied strongly. But here, there's nothing here, okay? We actually had a weak imbalance over there that was eliminated, okay? And here it wasn't weak, it was very strong, and it played out. And Palantir since then has rallied about 170%. So buying after 170% rally is suicidal. Okay, so Palantir, yes, could it rally again much more and break this supply level at the top? Because obviously markets sometimes are seen as irrational. Yes, but the trend structure, okay, strongly suggests a deeper correction on Palantir in the coming weeks and months. we are expecting price to drop much farther to 85 or even lower. Okay, so it is, like I said, terrible idea to buy now. If I am wrong, and you are still long and you get out of the trade, well, you need to make your own decisions. Obviously, this is just my not an advice. This is just my view on Palantir, and well, believe it or not, I have been right many times. So the thing is, price action together with supply and demand and the bigger time frames can tell us a lot. Okay, so when we buy after a very strong rally, the market is expensive and emotional. So just because price might go higher, you just cannot say, okay, I'm going to buy. That doesn't mean it is a good idea to buy. There's a niche in buying at the top of the top. Okay, so we don't. You couldn't buy, for example, if you go to a shop and you're hungry, to a supermarket, or you have a dinner, okay, you wouldn't buy a steak and double the price, or triple or quadruple, wouldn't you? So why buy a stock after a 250% rally? It doesn't make sense, unless you are scalping, okay? A little bit here, a little bit there, in the smaller time frames, using the 1 hour time frame, okay? You can use other stock strategies, use option strategies, whatever you want, okay? But that doesn't mean that Palantir is going to play out and break all-time highs again. Hopefully it won't, because price action is telling us something completely different. So you couldn't buy a stake that is 3-4 times more expensive. So but when it comes to trading stocks, cryptos, or forex, most people do it. Okay, so breakout strategies are one of these strategies that you buy when price is super high, super strong, super expensive. So for now, the, let's say, quote unquote verdict, the bias for Palantir is still long-term longs, but we have now a temporary intermediate bearish bias correction expected, currently at $171 per share. We have the demand level much lower at right there, about here on $85. So what to do now? Well, we have to wait, be patient. We can use bearish option strategies to go on the way down. Selling short shares of stock naked, it's not a good idea. Okay, so there's zero need to rush. Your ego wants to buy, your strategy tells you to buy, but when you analyze this price action wise and supply and demand wise, you shouldn't be buying. So, but if you're using smaller time frames, like I said, okay, you can go in any direction. But this is how you learn. You learn through mistakes. Okay, so the thing is, when we take a look at even the bigger time frames, it is quite clear. If we take a look at the quarterly chart, it is quite clear that this is what it's telling us to do. With the expectation for Palantir stock, okay, the forecast is telling us, well, Palantir stock is expected to do that on the quarterly time frame. Is Palantir a top stock to buy right now? Nope. After a rally of about 250%, it's not a good idea. Supply and demand basics. Okay. In real life, you are an expert in supply and demand, but when it comes to price action and trading stocks, it's like you forgot everything you apply natively when you as a human being. Okay. So, and if you take a look at the even bigger time frames, okay, there is a huge imbalance down there on the yearly time frame. So after 3 years running, it rallied for about how long? Well, 1,700%. It's like, and you want to buy now. I mean, you will be like speculating short term, really, because when this happens, I can show you thousands of stocks that have done like this. Okay, is Palantir not going to do it? I have no idea, but the probabilities are very high. Okay, so next stop should be around 85, and hope it doesn't. If you are still wanted to hold a long-term position for Palantir stock, because it could drop all the way down to about $30 per share. Okay, well, I hope I'm wrong, but price could reverse in the middle of nowhere, or when this demand level is hit, and then from here reversed. But well, that still hasn't happened yet. So price action wise, for long-term investment, swing investment trading for Palantir, right now it's not a good idea. The same happened with Meta, which I analyzed a few weeks ago, and it's dropping as expected to this monthly demand level. So buying at the top was not a good idea. So here in Palantir, we don't have a demand level over there. It's unclear. So we'll see what happens. But if you want to apply to learn how to trade stocks and using real institutional level supply and demand without using any news or lagging indicators, you can subscribe to my channel. You can watch other videos I have posted and how these supply and demand analysis play out perfectly. So we'll see. Remember that now emotions, this is emotional, buying at the top after a very strong rally. We need to wait. So what can you take from this video? I mean, well, a few lessons, I guess. Buying after a very strong rally, which I always say and repeat, is not a good idea. And when you take a look at the bigger time frames, I mean, it is clear that Palantir has to drop. Okay, so is these large upper week signs of taking profits from the professional traders and institutions? Maybe. Okay, so this is the first stop, second stop. 85 more or less, and then $30 more or less. Those are the next stops for long-term investment in Palantir. Buying right now, like I said, after such a strong rally with bearish price action doesn't make sense.